There are moments in golf that feel bigger than a leaderboard. Moments when the score almost stops mattering, because what you're really watching is a person fighting time, pain, doubt, and the weight of everything people think they know about them. And with Tiger Woods, every return carries that kind of feeling. Because this is not just a golfer stepping back onto the course. This is a man who has already climbed higher than almost anyone in sports, fallen harder than most people thought possible, and still somehow found a reason to come back again. But this time it felt different, quieter, heavier, almost personal. The decision Tiger made shocked people not because it was loud, but because of what it meant. It told the golf world that he still believed there was something left to chase, something unfinished. And when a player like Tiger decides the story is not over, the entire sport leans in. Stay with me, because what this comeback decision really says about Tiger might be even more powerful than the comeback itself. And if you truly love golf, if this game means something to you, and if stories like this remind you why you fell in love with it in the first place, then subscribe and become part of this golf family. Because golf is more than swings and scorecards. It's resilience, heartbreak, belief, and those rare moments that stay with you long after the final putt drops. What makes Tiger different is not just the winning. It never was. Yes, the records matter. Yes, the major titles matter. Yes, the dominance changed golf forever. But what keeps people watching, even now, is something deeper. It's the way Tiger turned every round into a story. Every walk up the fairway felt like tension. Every fist pump felt like history. And every setback somehow made people care even more. That is why his comeback decision hits so hard. Because by now, nobody would blame him for stepping away. Nobody would question his legacy. Nobody would ask him to prove a single thing. He has already done enough to live in golf forever. But Tiger has never seemed built for the easy ending. He has never felt like someone who wanted to disappear quietly into memory. And that's where this story starts to pull you in. Because the shocking part was not simply that he came back. It was that he chose to keep stepping into the arena, knowing exactly what waited for him. The cameras, the expectations, the comparison to the old Tiger, the brutal truth that even one small limp, one bad round, one tired swing would spark questions from every direction. But here's the part nobody talks about. A comeback is not really about showing up. It's about agreeing to be vulnerable in public, especially when the world remembers your peak better than anyone else's. Tiger was not returning as an unknown player with nothing to lose. He was returning as Tiger Woods, the standard, the myth, the player people still measure greatness against. And that makes every comeback heavier than most fans realize. Think about what that takes. To know your body is not the same. To know recovery is slower. To know the pain is real. To know younger players are stronger, sharper, and playing more often. And still to say, I'm going back out there. I'm going to test myself again. I'm going to see if there is still something inside me that can compete when it matters. That's not ego. That's belief. And in golf, belief is everything. Because golf is not like other sports. You can't hide. There is no teammate to cover your weakness for a few minutes. There is no clock you can run out. There is just you, your swing, your mind, your body, and the long walk between hope and disappointment. Which is why Tiger's decision felt so powerful to golf fans. We understood what it meant. He wasn't just returning to wave at the crowd. He was returning to confront the game itself. And this is where everything changed. At first, a lot of people reacted with the same mix of emotions. Excitement, obviously. Curiosity too. But also doubt. Real doubt. Could Tiger still walk 4 rounds? Could he handle major-level pressure? Could his body survive the grind? And maybe the biggest question of all, was this comeback about competing, or was it about closure? That question matters, because fans can feel the difference. Golf fans are smart. They know when someone is just making an appearance. They also know when someone still has that fire. And with Tiger, even in the smallest moments, people thought they saw it. In the focus, in the preparation, in the way he talked about the game, in that look he gets when he believes there is still a shot to hit, still a round to build, still a reason to fight. Wait till you hear what happened next, because this is what made the decision feel bigger than one tournament or 1 week. Tiger's comeback was not just about whether he could win. For many fans, it became about whether greatness can evolve without disappearing. That's a huge idea in sports. We're used to seeing athletes in 2 versions, unstoppable or finished. But Tiger challenged that. He forced people to sit in the uncomfortable middle. Not the invincible tiger from the past. Not the retired legend from the future. Something more human, more fragile, and honestly, more inspiring. Because there is something incredibly moving about watching a legend refuse to let pain write the final chapter. Not pretending the pain isn't there. Not acting superhuman. Just refusing to surrender the desire to compete. That is a different kind of courage. And I think that's why this story resonates beyond golf. It speaks to anyone who has ever been counted out, slowed down, or told their best days are behind them. But don't mistake emotion for fantasy. This is also where realism comes in. A tiger comeback has never meant a fairy tale is guaranteed. Golf doesn't work like that. The body keeps score. Age keeps score. Recovery keeps score. The course exposes everything. And maybe that's exactly why fans stayed locked in. Because the uncertainty was real. This was not scripted. It was not safe. It was not guaranteed to end with a trophy and a perfect smile. It could hurt. It could disappoint. It could remind everyone just how hard this game really is. And somehow, that made it even more meaningful. Because when Tiger chooses to come back under those conditions, he is choosing honesty. He is choosing a version of competition where legacy offers no protection. He still has to stand over the ball. He still has to commit to the shot. He still has to live with the outcome. That's why golf fans respect it so much. The sport has a way of stripping everything down to truth. But here's the moment that really gets me. Tiger's comeback decision also said something about love. Not media noise. Not image. Not business. Love. You do not keep putting yourself through that process unless the game still means something deep to you. Unless the walk to the first tee still matters. Unless the pressure still wakes something up in your soul. Tiger didn't need more fame. He didn't need more recognition. If he came back, it was because some part of him still needed golf. And if you've ever loved this game, truly loved it, then you understand that feeling. You understand why someone would keep chasing a certain shot shape. Why one clean strike can make a whole week feel different. Why a sunrise practice round can still feel magical. Why the sound of a crowd gathering around a closing stretch can make your heart race. Golf gets inside people like that. It becomes part of how they see themselves. Tiger gave voice to that feeling for an entire generation. And this is where the story becomes surprising in the best way. The comeback decision shocked everyone because it forced people to rethink what success even means. Maybe success was not only lifting another trophy. Maybe success was being willing to return it all. Maybe success was standing there with all the scars, all the questions, all the miles behind him, and still choosing to compete. In a strange way, that version of Tiger might be one of the most powerful we've ever seen. Not the most dominant, not the most feared, but maybe the most courageous. That doesn't erase the hunger, though. Let's be honest. With Tiger, there's always a part of us that wonders. What if? What if for one weekend the swing syncs up, the body holds on, the putter gets hot, and the old electricity comes rushing back? That hope never completely leaves the room. And maybe Tiger knows that too. Maybe that tiny possibility is enough. Because champions don't always need certainty. Sometimes they just need a chance. But here's the part nobody can ignore. His comeback decision also gave something back to the fans. It reminded people why they care so much. Why golf matters. Why this sport can feel dramatic, emotional, and deeply human even when nothing is exploding and nobody is shouting. Just a golfer, a course, a crowd, and a story bigger than the score. And maybe that's Tiger's greatest gift to golf. He made people feel that every shot could mean something more. So when people say they were shocked by this comeback decision, I get it. They weren't just reacting to a scheduled choice or another return headline. They were reacting to the meaning behind it, to the stubbornness, to the belief, to the refusal to let the story end on somebody else's terms. Tiger reminded the world that even after everything, the fire can still burn. Maybe differently, maybe more quietly, but still powerfully enough to move the entire sport. And that is why stories like this matter. Because they remind us that greatness is not only about how high you rise. Sometimes it is about whether you are willing to rise again when nobody would blame you for staying down. Tiger Woods may never need to prove anything ever again. But the fact that he still wants to fight, still wants to compete, still wants to chase something meaningful, says more about him than any stat line ever could. So now I want to ask you something. When you look at Tiger's comeback decision, what do you really see? One last run, unfinished business, or the pure love of the game? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more golf stories that make you feel something real, stay with this channel, because this game deserves to be talked about with passion.